Artie, why don't you go lie in front of the fan, you goofy guy? It's like, I never want to miss nothing, Ma. I'm in the mix, Ma. I don't want to miss nothing. I'm not going to be... I ain't going to say nothing you haven't already heard, my friend. Hello, welcome to my tube. My name is Marge. I'm Hayok Empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. Things are getting crazy all around. Crazy everywhere. People are gunning it. I get a measure of how the collective energies are by just how people are acting in my close proximity. And I was pretty fiery myself when I went out today. I had to breathe through a lot of stuff. Just breathe through it. That's what I do. I just breathe through stuff. It helps keep me calm. Because it's just nonsense, man. People aren't even slick anymore, man. They're just like outwardly, obnoxiously. Look at Artie, how cute he is. What's the word? Arrogantly, belligerently rude, you know? They just cut in front of you. They just, and I don't even, I think a lot of people, what it is, I don't even think they mean to do it on purpose. I think that people are so shallow and they're just walking around through life and all that they can see and all that they can handle is just what's right in front of their face. Just one task. Hey Nate, one task, you know, and I demand more from people. I demand better from people, because if I can think about 4 or 5 things at one time and do 3 things at once, then why can't they? You know, people need to raise the standards. People let their self-respect and their personal standards freaking go to the wayside, and it's lame. It's ridiculous. I went to a restaurant today. I was gonna get me and Mom a good food, because we eat enough for one person. You know, we snack. But I was gonna get like some like strawberry and cream French toast or crepes or something that we don't always eat, right? Because we don't I don't eat out a lot. It's just easier to cook, and although the price is about the same as the way the food costs these days. Things are just out of control. I wish people would stop calling it inflation and just call it greed. Because they throw words out there. They've done it my whole life. They throw key words out there, and then people get scared. And they respond in how they're programmed to respond. And then they say something else, and be afraid of that. And so all these people are just, you know, have become hyper freaking sensitive because they're afraid of everything. And I'm like, when have they ever said anything true? When have they ever said anything true? I guess parents in my generation didn't read that Chicken Little book to their kids. You know, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. The sky never freaking falls, man. It never freaking falls. I've been waiting for it to fall myself, and it never falls, so. I haven't been really feeling much like talking lately, just kind of going within and thinking about what, you know, my own discrepancies in life, my own character defects that I don't want to carry with me into this next chapter, whatever the chapter is. I know it's about to begin. As soon as my background changes, that's when the next chapter begins. I see a lot of people's background changing. Oh! These goofy little kittens are everywhere. So I went to the VA doctor. Speaking of demanding more excellence in my life, I didn't get it that day. I just am glad that they saw me. And I went in, solely just so that they could read my labs, my blood work, to make sure that, like, my sugar's not too high. And they said my sugar was kind of high, and I don't eat a lot. It's my cookies. I don't eat a lot. I've never eaten a lot in my whole life. We graze, huh, Ma? Like, me and Ma for dinner, we ate some cottage cheese. I got a little bowl of cottage cheese with pears. We ate that. We split that. And then I was like, ooh, that tasted pretty good. Let's try it with peaches. And I just get it with water. I don't get it in heavy syrup. Or if I get the ones that are in fruit juice or water. And my cholesterol's high, but I don't believe what they say about cholesterol. And I'm fit. I mean, I stay active. I'm like, The guy was like in his 70s. And he asked me 3 times. He's like, when you walk around the park, are you walking? Are you walking? I said, I'm striking. I ain't strolling. Does that answer your question? I'm walking very fast. You know, because freaking. And it's so stupid because they didn't ask me. I didn't get to say anything about what the problems that like things that I would like to have addressed. And I knew clearly into it because like the nurse, people are so vacant. Oh my gosh. They have they just have people that have just lived in one place their whole entire life and have never like gone out and experienced things. They are just, I really feel for them in this next chapter because their minds are going to be blown all the time. We're going to start seeing the psychologies dissolve here. I'm already seeing it in the new, you know, the way that animals are acting out, people are acting out, people are all shorting out. They're all getting goofy. It's just this perpetual slope, you know, until they start learning positive outlets on how to get that energy out. It's times like this, in 9 months from now, we're going to see a baby boom. Yeah, we're going to see a baby boom. A lot of people are going to get pregnant right now because these energies are really conducive for that. So if you don't want to get pregnant, if you don't want to have a kid right now, and you live in a state where you can't freaking go abort it, don't be screwing around. It's that simple. I never understood that whole thing. And I'm just like, my whole life I'm a spectator. And that's what I've been doing. Like when I went to the restaurant today, I went to one restaurant, I was waiting in line. And like this lady cut, and I was just like, that's just how the people in this town are. It's just how they do it. They just find their little slot and they just get right in there. There's no, you know, it's freaking weird, man. This is the first time I lived in a place like this. It's like living in the past. Just their manners. They just don't. But where are they going to learn how to, you know, have manners at the freaking town square? You know, I mean, there's like 6,000 people in this town. Where are they going to go to learn how to not be a D-bag? Because their parents don't get to teach their kids nothing no more. And all those really great parents out there that teach your kid how to be honest and share and generous and proper and be all the ways of being a decent and righteous human being. You know, your kids aren't doing. Listen, they didn't do it. Yeah. So I had to leave the first restaurant. I was just like, you know what? I was talking to this nice older couple in front of me, to the wife, you know, and then I was just like, you know, and I said, I was just gonna order something to go, but I'm just gonna go. And she's like, no, you can go ahead in front of us. I said, I thank you. That's very nice. I appreciate that. I said, but it just doesn't feel good to be here right now, so I'm gonna go. And so I left, and then I went to this other restaurant, and then I'm just like, Marge, you get to practice patience and tolerance every day. Because that's how it is for me, man. I can't not, I mean, I don't usually get to go through life not doing stuff because things don't feel good. But I'm getting so sensitive, man. I'm getting so sensitive. That's what I was telling the doctor at the VA. I was like, my eyes are getting more sensitive, you know. And I said, look, I got weighed and I was 161 pounds. I said, you know, Ma, I said, my whole life I've been like 150, 160. I bet that's like my natural weight, right? 150, somewhere. But I'm only 5'3 3/4. So people, I hear that number, I think that's fat, right? I think that's fat. And but I was like showing the guy, I said, look at me. I was like, I mean, look at it. I mean, I'm firm. I'm not, muscle weighs more than fat, right? But people don't, they look at me and they hear the number, you know, and you're fat. I'm not fat. I got a gut. I do got ooze in my gut. I got an oozy gut. Because I always carry my stress in my gut. They ordered a parasite test. I think that's just what they do. They just order everybody parasite tests. And I'm finding out, like me going to the island of Crete does me no good. does me no good as far as like my rating and stuff, because they have the OI, what do they call them, the OIF. They have these freaking people that have nothing better to do but just make up rules and regulations, but then their buddies circumvent and don't follow them, and it's just a club. Everything's a club, and there's always people that get to cut in the front of the line, and just because of that, it's like I don't want to participate in life. Because there's not going to be, it's not a fair advantage. It's not, there is no playing field out there in the world that is level. There just isn't. Because everybody, every owner of every business has the right to refuse service. And how many people refuse people of things that they need just because of how they look? But if you talk to the person, you might find out that you have a lot more in common with them. Then, you know, but people have gone by I don't go by look, I go by how people feel. I don't go by how people look. And like, it doesn't matter. It's, this is kind of an interesting story. I went to the supermarket the other morning. And I was talking to, because I talked to I talked to a lot of people that witness high volume customers to get an idea of the collective consciousness, how people are acting in the area. Are they being cool, or are they going to be in D-bags, right? And so the woman at the cash register, I got to get her name. She's a tourist. I got her sign, her sun sign. And I know, and as I understand tourists, they're very personable, you know? They're like bulls, you know, Ferdinand. And she's like, you know, she's very friendly. She's like, but yeah, because I was like, how are you? And I'm Heyoka empath. I'm the person that strangers open their heart to. They tell their deepest, darkest secrets to. Like, people confess things to me, profess things to me. They share things with me. I'm a safe place. And people recognize that. And I said, how are you? And I like put my hand like on her, like, you know, in a genuine you know. And she was like, today I'm good, but yesterday was hard. She's like, I don't know what it was, but all the people that like take a lot of pills and do like do a lot of the zombies, they were all out in force yesterday. And they were all like, you know, yeah, I'm going to steal and you can't stop me. And just like I'm going to use the word. She's indignant, entitled. You know, that's the thing, is like people get so hurt, they don't see seen. And then it's just like, the people don't see me anyway. I'm just going to act. I'm going to say whatever I want. I'll say whatever I want. And it's putting people, I just think people are just like radio stations anyway. And we tune in to, you know, as in tuned as you are, you're going to receive data and information. You might not even be getting it for things of this earth, this dimension, these dimensions that everybody else is involved in. And more people are getting more sensitive. Like, I passed a guy today on my way from one restaurant, and I got a breakfast burrito. This thing was like, that's the thing, man. You live in a small town, you got to sacrifice like peace and quiet. Or no, you get peace. I shop overpriced anyway. It's all superficial marketing. You know, it's ridiculous. But my train of thought just derailed. Oh, and I saw, and this guy was just mumbling, and he didn't even make sense to me. I'm like, dude, we are not the same frequency. I'm not picking up your frequency, Kenneth. You know, I don't know what you're saying. You know, he was blah. I was talking about the woman at the market, and she said that they were all out, and she was just like, usually it comes in, it happens every now and again, you know, like you get a few, they trickle in, you know. And the way I see the people that are vacant, you know, it's of all economic backgrounds. People are just zombies. They're just like, I just put on my earphones, and you know, I'm waiting for my food, and I'm kind of trying to help the waitress a little bit without busting her tables and being, you know, too over. But there was only one waitress, and there was someone at the register, and there's probably freaking only one cook, because they can't hire people in this town. They gave in New Mexico. They give so much people money. I didn't get any of this money. I missed out on getting all this free money. Well, I like to work. I'm a person of integrity. I don't usually don't fit in most places. There's a lot of lazy people on this planet. You can see they were allowed to get lazy the last couple years. They had every opportunity to freaking, you can't go anywhere. Might as well just get a couple weights, make your own little home gym, stay fit, go for a walk, improve your life, eat better. No, people did not do that, and it's evident. It's freaking disgusting how much people let themselves go all over the place. It's hard. It's just freaking sad that people, it's like, what? You don't care enough about yourself to go freaking walk around the block? Seriously? Your life is oh so filled to sitting on your couch and watching TV and stuffing your face with freaking crap food that you can't even, take a time out for 20 minutes? Or even not for you. Hey, even if it's not for you, don't freaking subject your kid and teach your kid how to be a freaking lazy fat slob too. Do better for your kids. People need to do better for their kids, man. So, yeah, the first restaurant, they had a sign up on the window. Because, on social media, you see somebody post up, something on the news will post something, and Luna, be nice, pretty lady. And people will be like, I don't know why people in New Mexico say we don't want to work. And then you go to towns in New Mexico, like Taos, and there's signs on the window that say, thank you for your patience. We are very, very short-staffed. Because as you know, the state is giving away a bunch of money, and people, the sign said that in a restaurant. And it's just, it's sad that people don't, it's like, dude, it's like Wall-E. We're getting to go Wall-E. Wall-E, that cartoon, Wall-E. That's what it's turning into. And then you got those that are people are. I do see people coming into their fitness that are finding that that health matters. I do see those. So let's praise those. Let's commend those. The people that are trying, right? I try. So are you seeing the drama where you live pick up? Where you live, people getting extra fiery? I got unfriended today. I've been unfriended. I get unfriended all the time. People just don't want to be my friend. They don't want to hear what I have to say. It's all that crazy nonsense, But I've listened to the thing of it is all these people that have unfriended me is I probably thought that your stuff was crazy nonsense too. But we stuck around. There was a period when I moved to Oregon that I needed to cut myself off from people. I just needed to disconnect and recalibrate because I found out people that I thought were my friends weren't and all that stuff. I learned a lot of hard lessons. And then there was people that I figured out that, I don't want to be friends with them either. And so I went through and trimmed down. I don't know. I've never had a big circle. And I hate I never really, the social media stuff, I like to post my pictures there. I use it for picture data, but I also understand, or data storage. But I also understand that when anything I put out there, I know it's not mine. It's not mine. They just loan me access. Like my phone, my iPhone, none of the 54,000 pictures I have on my iCloud. I know it's all in that user agreement. And they use it for whatever they want. And they could cut these pieces and cut that and make scenarios here and there. They've been doing it for years. As long as the software exists, is that people that do stuff, man. And I think that the layman, the regular average Joe doesn't recognize the links that people go to just to make life how they want it. Just to make the world their world. To make them the king of the castle and the kingdom, and you have this group over here, and people that live that live in one place, they're presented a story of how the world is, and most people just accept it. And then you have the travelers that go out and they find out that no, the world's this way, and the world, people are really like that, and that's not, and hey, here they did this and this worked and people seem to be happy, so maybe you should try it here, because it's not working for you here. But people get so stuck and this is how we've always done. There's consequences that come with that, and we're getting those consequences. People's psychologies are dissolving, man. And it's so weird. Like, I listen to this show where they talk about the divine masculine. I'm like, you guys sound like fucking valley girls. And you recognize yourself to be the divine masculine, huh? See, because every divine masculine I've ever met was just like kind of a good old boy, He wasn't all loud and flashy. But he took care of his family. He was good to his friends. He worked hard. He played hard. And he didn't ever want to hurt nobody. And sometimes he had a little extra and he'd help people out. That's all it is to me. Not he who has the biggest toys, most toys wins crap. And you can't be talking to me. I don't care who you are. Don't be talking about being a spiritual being unless you just, you got to throw that you're a greedy being in there too. Let's keep it real. It's not that world anymore. I would never want to do a show where I was paying. I can't even find a place to live for me and mom and the dogs. And then you have these pretentious D-bags that freaking, like, have their house, have their apartment, have their fifth wheel, have their big stupid trucks, have their studios, and they don't get how balance works. When people have so much over here, there's people that have nothing. That's how balance works. But as you can see, the last couple of years, how many businesses made so much money by just complying and bending over and taking it? Just complying. A lot of people made a lot of money. Okay, we'll do we'll play your game. We'll do what you say. Well, yep, because and then when like your customers could really use you, you took every opportunity to freaking jack up those prices, because people could be taking a hit. They just made a lot of money. But they could be taking a loss right now to keep their prices the same. There's a sourdough bread that I got for a long time, and I was like, see, it hasn't gone up. It's still $3.99. It's like they don't have to raise their prices, right? And then I went in the store the other day, $4.99. I was like, I guess I'm done with sourdough. I just buy the cheapest crap. We eat we're eating more fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. But when we move, I'm gonna get it where I'm gonna do food prep. I'm gonna do food prep and then do meal prep for the week and stuff. So I just have been living in limbo because I knew that we were gonna move, so I don't want to unpack and then get all comfortable only to pack stuff up again. I hate it. It's stupid. It's dumb. Anyway, so what else is going on? People are figuring out what people really are. I don't know why it's taken them so long to figure it out. I don't know. But again, I read energy. I go by energy, and a lot of people don't, I guess. A lot of fear. A lot of people that are scared. I'm not. I never was afraid of stuff out there, and nothing that they ever told me that I needed to be afraid of was ever a threat. It was always the people that said things were threatening. They were the actual threat. Like, they were the proprietor. They were the predators. They were the freaking, perverts. They're the guy that. Oh man, there's just so many ways that people are dirty. There's just, I've been subjected to so, and that's why I'm so obnoxiously outspoken about it now, because they think they're slick, and it ain't just males. It's women too. It's just, people are just kind of creepy. They're just really kind of creepy. And I'd never been into that world. I mean, I knew I knew what swingers were when I was like 10, 11 years old. That song, Just a Swing, and people don't even know it, Passing partners, and we're going into that because people want to act out and be promiscuous, so they're going to create a world where, it's embraced, and that's what you ought to do. But we're going to see more STDs. Monkeypox is an STD. They did the same thing with HIV. It's just all nonsense. But if people just freaking stop chasing sensations and just stop screwing around, how much crap would that reduce on the planet? How much hostility, crimes of passion, all that stuff. If they came up with positive outlets on how to get rid of that energy. But people don't get how energy works, so it's going to be interesting to watch. I'm going to be staying home a lot more, huh? We're going to go live in the sticks, huh, Ma? Right? I'll just have a garden and tend to the garden. Then we'll have people come visit. Maybe the internet will work. Maybe it won't. Maybe I'll only get to do videos once a week or something like that. Who knows? But things are definitely getting crazy all around. And I attest it to just people don't have emotional control. They don't have outlets. They don't meditate. They don't eat right. All their freaking nerves are shot, And everybody around here drinks. It was like 10 o'clock this morning, and the freaking dude that walked past me smelled freaking 70 proof spirit. You can't. And have alcohol. Alcohol is the spirits. The only thing that separates a human being and a dead person is the animation of our breath. And then people replace that with whatever deities, the mood, the spite that the man was in, thinking about his wife cheating on him, that bottled it and is just that rage in acres, that works on the assembly line, or he drives the truck with all the liquor, and then people consume that, and they're usually a happy drunk, but not that time. They lashed out and frickin' went crazy, Think about all the things that people have done and blamed alcohol when they were the driver of their ship. I did it because I was drunk. Okay, then you're not going to drink anymore? No, I just won't drink that one thing. Really? Yeah, I'll drink something else. Maybe I won't act like that. Oh, then you'll get a different spirit in you. It just, the logic, this planet is not made for people like me. So, anyway, I am healthy. And then they called for us, and the doctor's like 70. It's so ineffective because, the nurse asked me all these questions, and I'm just trying to answer, and she was she was just so, I don't think she's ever met anybody like me in her life. And she was older than me, and she just didn't even know what to think. But she loosened up towards the end. She did. And then they wanted to refer me to a counselor or a psychologist or something. And the guy called yesterday, and he's in his 70s or 80s. And I'm just like, dude, I know these guys. I don't need to talk to somebody that their mentality's stuck in the past. Because I'm going to go in there and I'm going to, depressed? Do you ever get depressed? That's what they asked me. I'm like, yeah, it's depressing to know that I was part in a military engagement that we had no business being in. That a lot of people got really, really rich from killing a lot of really innocent people that are just, like me, that went in to go to college, and didn't think that this was going to happen. But they made up this, blowing people up and killing people for decades? Yeah, that's pretty depressing knowing I was a part of that. That's really depressing. Paid killers, murderers. So a bunch of freaking guys that sit behind a desk and go, scratch their balls and say, oh God, how much more money are we making? This is great, guys. And are you seeing the stuff about, all the art imitates life, imitates art, imitates life, and then people do this. They do this stuff in real life, and then if they get caught, that's their defense. It's, no, I didn't do that. That's crazy. They only do that stuff on TV, and that's their defense. But it's a mentality. Did you see Keeper Sutherland? His son, I think, or is Richard Dreyfuss? Richard Dreyfuss. I think it was Richard Dreyfuss. I said Keeper. It's Richard Dreyfuss. I don't want to get this wrong. His son got arrested because he did an interview. He was like, "Yeah, I paid a junkie $50 to hunt him with a paint gun." Do you think he really used a paint gun, really? And you think that junkie walked away to be a junkie? I beg to differ. Lie detector. These people are creepy, man. The mentality. Human beings are foul. They're gross. They're disgusting. They're rank. They're filthy. They're nasty. People gotta work harder to be decent human beings. And they're not doing it. They're not doing it. You see it everywhere. All the kids' sex crimes and stuff like that coming around again. You know? And it's so disingenuous when people keep talking about saving the kids. Well, you know what? I was one of those kids in the 70s. There's more kids in the 80s, more kids in the 90s, 2000. People pay themselves a lot of money to say they care, but it never actually comes to us people that have been the subject to these crimes. And it's heinous and it's gross, and maybe it'll change